The charts are right for put plays. Volatility is low, which means you pay a low premium, and we're seeing levels hit on the S&P that make for remarkable opportunities. The idea is if tariffs come in full force, how much lower can rates really go if inflation continues to uptick? Bitcoin is still a risk asset. It is off of its lows, so you have seen some buyers coming in there, maybe MicroStrategy buying more.
The market is on the edge of a massive collapse, and two key factors are driving the chaos. Gareth Soloway explains how trade wars with Colombia and a new AI model are shaking the financial world, sending tech stocks like Nvidia spiraling down. Stay tuned as Gareth unveils how these factors are creating a perfect storm in the markets and what might come next.
There are two key factors driving the markets sharply lower, to the point where the NASDAQ in the early pre-market trade was down well over 4%. S&P was down as much as 3%. What was the culprit here? Well, over the weekend, yesterday in fact, there were two planes that went from the US to Colombia carrying migrants. Colombia rejected them, and then ultimately Trump said, all right, well, if you're going to reject them, we're going to slap 25% tariffs on everything immediately coming from Colombia to the US. Colombia then did retaliatory tariffs and is now talking about banding together with all the other South, or at least a bunch of the South American countries, to kind of be the strong player against the US. So that was one factor. The market's obviously worrying about a bigger trade war of tariffs. The second factor is that you had DeepSeek, which is a new AI model that a Chinese company has launched, and it is supposed to be remarkably amazing. Now, the issue here is we're seeing Nvidia crashing to the downside. In fact, let's bring up that chart as we speak here and take a look. But Nvidia and all other semiconductors are falling sharply to the downside here. As we take a look there, Nvidia is just off of its lows. This is down 10%. Keep in mind, this is a 3.7 or was a 3.7 trillion with a T market cap company, down over 10% this morning. If we want to look at other charts like Taiwan Semi, TSM is getting slammed. Look at this drop on Taiwan Semi today. This is, again, it closed on Friday at 222. It's trading at below 200. 10% drop on Taiwan Semi. Broadcom down 10% this morning and off of its lows. These are massive, massive drops. Now, the kicker is this, is that if new models are coming out, why would companies be spending a truckload of money on what there's currently out there on the market in terms of like OpenAI and other things to build out their infrastructure if there's better stuff on the horizon? So that is why you're seeing these semiconductor companies getting crushed this morning. The SMH, if we take a look at the SMH, it is off of its lows pre-market. But look at this line right here. I want to show you this, guys. Take a look. This is a bear flag, a long-term bear flag. You can see it very, very clearly here, right? So if we take a look at this, here's your bearish consolidation. Here's your flagpole. And again, the idea here is very simple, that if we're seeing this bear flag break down, then this is problematic. Now, you see this lower trend line right here, this one I'm pointing to, go back to your 10-minute, that's this line right here. So we have fallen on the SMH from up here, and if you go to Friday morning, from here all the way down, we're now right on this level of support. If this breaks, watch out below. This is one of the most impressive long bear flags I have seen in a chart in a long time. Now, it hasn't broken yet. All right, let's go back to the spiders. The S&P is down on the morning session. Look at this, guys. We closed on Friday at 608 approximately on the SPY. We traded as low as 589 and change. That is a huge drop. Now, remember on Friday, and this is the beauty of it, guys, I love this stuff. All right, so on Friday, in the game plan, I told you guys I'm looking to pick up S&P puts again. You know, that's what I was looking to pick up. S&P puts. I said the charts are right for put plays. Volatility is low, which means you pay a low premium, and we're seeing levels hit on the S&P that make for remarkable opportunities. Thursday, we closed above the double top on the SPY right here, double top. So amateurs, retail that doesn't follow here at Verified Investing, that doesn't know technical analysis, they might have said, oh man, this is a breakout on the S&P. We're going to go a lot higher. I'm sure a lot of people thought that, right? What do I say? I say, guys, wait for confirmation. It could be a fake out by the institutions. It could just be a pierce of a double top to wipe out the stops on shorts, all of those things to lure in weak-handed money. All right, what happens on Friday? Do we confirm? Nope. We sell off back below. That was the key. That was the the warning that something was up right here. It did not confirm a breakout, so therefore the double top was intact. You'd expect a rejection. Also notice this upsloping trend line. We went right into that. X marks the spot. How many times have you guys heard me say that? X marks the spot. What's happening today? Again, we know this already. These spiders are trading down here at around 595, 596 area, right down here. We're all the way down here. Now listen. So again, we have the DeepSeek, which is again a competitor now and showing way more promise than really anything the US has. That's causing the big sell-off in the semis. We then have the tariff situation, which is causing a big sell-off in the rest of the market. These things have gone from rosy on Friday to very nervous and scared on Monday here. Dollar today, if we look at the dollar, it continues to fall. So the dollar's actually seeing a dump here, and that is very fascinating as well. Coming back in, we kind of kissed my upper band right up here. You can see parallel, and then so really, if we're talking about levels, we should be headed down to this area here around 104 to 105 on the US dollar. The 10-year yield is also falling. Again, I've been a proponent of the TLT, picking up the TLT, which goes inverse to rates, as you guys know. And here we were right up into resistance, accumulated right up in this range, and now again, looking to be in the money as we fall in. But look, we're getting very close to technical support. Remember, so rates will fall when people get nervous economically, right? So they're nervous today. Oh my goodness, tariffs. Oh my goodness, maybe spending isn't going to be as robust. But at the same time, if we get into a tariff war where tariffs get levied on February 1st on Mexico as well as Canada, and then we also get in a situation where we get these tariffs now 25% on Colombia, maybe retaliatory, this is inflationary. And the kicker is this, is that we have a Fed meeting this week. What are they going to say about these tariffs? Because tariffs are inflationary, contrary to what anyone says. Just use your flat out logic. That's all you got to do. Let's do a logical analysis. So a US good is made, let's say, I don't know, a widget. A widget is made in the US for $10. So it costs, if you buy the US widget, it costs $10. However, US consumers also have the ability to buy a widget from China that only costs $5. So they can buy the $5 widget and save $5. That again is not inflationary because they can buy this. But what if you slap on 100% tariffs and that widget now goes to $10? Any US consumer that has to buy a widget is going to have to pay $10. That's inflationary. It's costing double the price. So this is just common sense, folks. And I always like to express this because there's so many players out there. Oh, it's not inflationary. It doesn't have to be because maybe the consumer eats some of that. I mean, the producer, but in general, the producer, we know this. Producers, when their costs go up, what do? Eventually, they push it over to the consumer. The idea is if tariffs come in full force, how much lower can rates really go if inflation continues to uptick?
Gareth Soloway breaks down the market's sharp decline. He explains how the tension over the trade dispute with Colombia, including potential 25% tariffs, is creating major fear in the markets. As if that weren't enough, he dives into the impact of a Chinese AI company launching a new model that is overshadowing existing technology like NVIDIA. This has led to a massive sell-off in semiconductor stocks, with NVIDIA and Taiwan Semi losing huge amounts of value. Soloway also highlights an important bearish signal in the markets, as the charts show a clear bear flag pattern. Will the market bounce back, or is there more downside ahead? Stay tuned as he unpacks what these developments mean for your investments.
Look at this trend line peaking above right here again. So again, that could be something of interest. You probably should have it up here. So it's right into resistance, but keep in mind, take a look pre-market. It is down a little because the whole market is selling off. But remember, the nice thing about Wolf is that it doesn't matter. And this is the beauty of it, guys. So why is Wolf awesome? Well, this is my humble opinion. It may be a dud, and I've had many duds in my trading career before, but the chips that they make are silicon carbide and gallium nitride, I think. And essentially they're the chips that go into data centers that help energy efficiency, and also they can handle higher heat. And so the idea is with Wolf's chips, they're not as it doesn't matter whose chips and what you're using in the data center, you're probably going to need the alternate energy, these energy efficient chips. So they're not AI chips, they're a different type of chip. And I think that is the ticket here, is that Wolfspeed has these chips that will be in demand regardless. And again, they're more energy efficient. We know how much these data centers in terms of energy are going to use, and these other factors like higher heat ability to handle. All right, so that's that's an interesting one right there, folks. Let's continue on. Tesla this morning is trading lower here. So we are seeing Tesla. I mean, basically any large cap tech is down. Tesla, you guys know I still have my target right here in the short term, headed to 360, and I would still expect go to 360 on the chart. And by the way, it may go lower. This should be, you can see pivot high, pivot high, pivot high. This should be support right here. And then if we continue on our merry way and we look at something like an Amazon here, which was basically at all-time highs per Friday, is down here pre-market. Let's bring up the pre-market chart. You can see big bounce though. But again, wow, that was down a lot. Holy cow. Closed on Friday at 235, bottomed this morning at 219. I mean, these are massive drops. Now, again, we've had big bounces, but the question is when the market's open today, is everything going to end up going? Bitcoin is down. We know that when it's a risk asset, it tends to sell off. Bitcoin is still a risk asset. It is off of its lows. So you have seen some buyers coming in there, maybe MicroStrategy buying more, but ultimately, again, down, broke a short-term trend line. Listen, this is again, charts in a nutshell, right? Pivot high right into major resistance, double top on this candle with a topping tail. You got your retrace and then your rollover. That's exactly how I told you guys it could play out. If we ever break above here, then it goes to like 120 or 125. But as long as we're below this is the path of least resistance back to 92. Ethereum, I haven't done Ethereum with you guys in a while. Ethereum, look at this. Tagged support this morning. This is not a buy level for me. This is a buy level down here. But again, as of now, it tagged support and is holding support. A breakout would be a break above this trend line here. Then it would end up going right up in this range.
The market is in turmoil, and Soloway's insights are eye-opening. With the dollar falling and tariffs looming, the risk of a deeper downturn is real. To stay ahead, make sure you're prepared for the volatility to come. Don't forget to subscribe for more expert insights and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest market shifts. Until next time.